So here's things. It's women's month of women, which to me means year of women because I am one, identify as one. All people who identify or bent as one or sometimes feel like one or love one, happy Women's Month to you. Because we're great. And I want to acknowledge that. And I also want to acknowledge that, it's almost like I don't need to light it up for the show because honestly, I think a lot of us are bent toward feminine who watch this. But if you bend more towards masculine, please get in. The water's fine.
Kirsten's Agenda is the name of my show. It's a way to make art and learn stuff and grow. There will be lots of segments and maybe some guests. 10 minutes of deep breath, that is my quest. If while we're here, then our insides expand to be more compassionate to our fellow man and woman and person. And remember, the truth is that kindness is cool. Have sex with my feelings and being cruel. Because our power lies in our minds and our hearts. Opening up is a really good place to start. Kirsten's Agenda.
I have been in this room all day trying to get this out of my face. And I want to teach us all, me included, about the drama triangle. And I can say to you with conviction that I have been in the drama triangle. I've been in each of the sides or points of the triangle at various times today as I've been trying to do this Kirsten's Agenda. Let me explain what the drama triangle is. When I do night stories, if you know what it is, you know what it is. There's a thing, hero, victim, villain. That's the drama triangle. Hero, victim, villain. I'm just using my nose to point to the points. So if you're on the drama triangle, you've decided that the way to live is to be in a persona of either the hero, the victim, or the villain. But there's another way to live outside of that. What way is outside of that? Being a creator, being creative. You can't create and you can't be in the moment if you're in a persona of hero or victim or villain. You can't do it. It's a moment to moment thing. Can you pop out and be a creator and then pop back in and go into this? Yes, that happens all the time. This, being on the drama triangle, means that life is happening to you. You feel powerless and fearful, and therefore you want to blame everybody out there, or you feel unsettled in your body and you need to change out there so that you can settle yourself down. Out there, you're requiring out there to be different so your in here will settle down. And that might work temporarily, but it's not a real fix. The other thing about being on the drama triangle is when you're living like this, let's say most people spend a lot of time in one of them, in either a hero, a victim, or villain. If you decide that you're going to live your life as a villain, right? And villain would be someone who is saying that whole groups are to blame for things. They're angry and they're acting like a villain, right? And they usually feel very justified in that. If you're doing that, then you're requiring other people to either be the hero or the victim. You're requiring them to play that role. That's the only way you will see them. And that's why it's so compelling and interesting. It's so black and white, right? Because if you're out here and you're being a creator and you say, okay, I'm noticing that I'm in my victim, or I'm noticing I'm in my villain, and I'm really blaming everybody. And you have to be like, hold on, how do I take responsibility for this? And if you start taking responsibility, you have to make sure you don't become a villain to yourself. And if you take responsibility for it, you have to make sure you don't then feel victimized and feel like life is happening to you, which is the victim side of that. Victims feel like life is uncontrollable and it's a sort of a lack of energy. We've all been a victim. When we were kids, none of us had power. And you had a bunch of adults making decisions, sometimes terrible ones. And sometimes you had okay parents. I'm not, but all of us have a victim in us. It doesn't matter. All of us do. But sometimes if we don't give our victim enough attention, we can start getting into a victim contest where it's like, no, it's really bad. I'm going to prove to you. And you should get really victimized. But being a victim has no energy to it, right? So some people live in their victim, but some people can't. So they try to give themselves a false sense of power. Therefore, being a villain or being a hero. A hero is another kind of pseudo power. That's where you're like, no, I can do everything. No, I'll do everything for you. And I'm great and I'm perfect. I don't need anything. I don't have any needs or wants. Or you hero yourself by over giving of yourself of something that maybe only you think is going to settle you down, but ultimately it's not. Like I see nothing wrong with eating a piece of cake. I love cake. If I'm settling myself down, if I'm sad or scared and I'm eating a piece of cake, does it settle me down? Oh, yeah. But then there's an aftermath sometimes that pops up, right? There's another thing that happens. So I'm sort of heroing myself. And the thing about the hero, victim, villain triangle is that you can never go off it. You're constantly shifting. You might sort of live in hero or live in villain, but if someone else shows up and their villain is bigger than yours, then you're going to go into hero or victim. It's just what's going to happen. And it's so boring. It's so obvious. And it keeps you where you are. And if where you are isn't interesting, then why keep doing this? Right. So that's why I think that talking about the drama triangle is so cool, because if you can point it out to yourself and be like, oh, I'm there, and figure out how to get back into presence, figure out how to get back in the now and get outside of that, you just have so many more options. I have so much more room, and I don't have the answer to this. And I make mistakes on this constantly. And there's that Brene Brown quote thing. And that to me sort of summarizes the whole thing of it, to me. I'm going to try to put the quote there. I know all this because I've practiced it a lot and I still make a lot of mistakes. I used to make a lot more mistakes. I had a friend one time when my life was particularly tumultuous, which it used to be. She said, why don't you leave the drama on the stage? And now I do, for the most part. I watch other people create drama around me, and sometimes I get caught up in it, and sometimes whatever, but it's way more interesting to not be attached to that stuff. A special guest on Kirsten's agenda today. It's the interview portion. What are your political views? Go ahead. And you have to give them, because you know what? You have to. I do need to know, because art is political and we're making art. I can do all kinds of things. I am in the now, and I don't need your behavior to change to be myself anyhow. I can't do anything. I'm wounded way too bad. I've been hurt here and here and here. The only thing that's truly clear is I am the only victim here. I'll hurt you so, so bad, and I will make you pay. I'll show you how wrong you are, you'll see, and then you will have to agree that I am the villain and I have earned the right to be because of what you're doing wrong. No, you can do anything, and I'll help you all the ways. I'll heal you everywhere you hurt. I'm not a victim or a jerk. I'm a hero all the way. And I'm perfect and you're not, but that's cool. I can do anything. I am in the now, and I don't need your behavior to change to be myself anyhow. Why? Because a triangle is just too small of a shape for us to try to fit into. I want to be like getting into rhombuses and trapezoids and obelisks and lilies. You know what I mean? We don't need a shape. Get out of the shape. Get into the soup. Out of the shape, into the soup. Let's make a t-shirt.